on that. But before we just jump into that story as well, real quickly, now this morning we are honored to have a sweet person join us live in the studio. Her name is Ofeibea. Ofeibea, how are you doing?
I'm good. Feeling excited.
Yes. Welcome to the family. My name is Jay. That's Lenny. That's Cyril. That's he's trying to still pass his exams. He hasn't told us.
Nice to meet you, Cyril.
Jay, we're going to start.
You thought I was doing introduction
because sign petition.
I was just coming to your exam score sheet.
Because sign petition say for pay the rest of my school fees.
So basically, what's going to happen is that every single person that comes in here, I'll introduce all of us except him because he's supposed to show us his exams.
Not us.
Not
supposed to show us.
Let me see my
He's
results.
supposed to show you.
How much on the fees you pay?
You don't pay anything.
One city seven, no day school fees inside.
There are people who have paid my fees.
I
Have
go- I go-
even tested my-
I go talk nice hair before they say you didn't pay some. I say, I'm not saying nice hair.
Talking nice hair, you have a brand new book called Rubies for Hair. I love the play on words there because when you say rubies for hair, I mean, I'm saying that you're going like you need rubies because we need to give you rubies. I love the hair. Great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm fantastic.
Yes. Welcome. So let's tell us a bit about you.
Ofeibea is your typical laid back lady, but I love to write. And I like to get into people's heads, so I like holding deep conversations.
Okay.
So you'd always find me picking people's minds, asking the most weirded questions, just so I can know your thought process.
What do you think has triggered this? The cause to want to get into people's minds,
Is there...
be a bit psychological and you're thinking deep.
I usually want to find out what makes people do the things they do.
Oh.
Yes. Just so you can show grace, because we're all dealing with one thing or the other.
Have you? Are you a counselor?
Working towards it.
Okay. I know counseling are different kinds of counselors. Or unless I'm wrong.
Yes, there are.
Which area are you looking forward to?
I'm looking at the more social peer counseling.
In your few months, weeks, years of counseling, what has been the topmost issues that probably have come your way, that you hear amongst the people that you engage?
The lack of self-love and self-awareness.
Okay.
That's deep. That's deep. Expressive. Now we're talking being expressive. Okay, go ahead.
Where do you think that lack comes from? Because I think it has spilled into a lot of our daily lives some way, somehow, because you even hear it in people's thoughts, where you will think that someone is really beautiful or can really do a certain thing or the other, is really skilled, but then the person will just play it down like it's not a problem or it's not a big deal.
Yeah, usually it's the whole, our society beats down a child who is expressive. Like you're being rude. So formative stages is very important. If you come from an environment where you're not allowed to grow or feel like yourself right from the onset, you start shrinking just so you can make the people around you happy.
Comfortable,
comfortable around you. So you shrink to fit in instead of blooming. And it takes a lot to come out of the shell after you've been beaten down into that space. And then there is the self-sabotage we sometimes don't even realize we are doing. We tend to think we are not good enough for certain opportunities because of where we are coming from or who we don't know and who we know. So it all adds an implication on your thought process and how you even present yourself.
So we have to let children be
Exactly.
expressive.
Is this territorial? Yeah. Like when I say territorial, is it an African problem? Is it a Ghanaian thing? Is it a
Majorly, I think it's an African thing. Yes.
With our traditions and our cultures.
Cultures, yes.
Yeah. Well, we just beat ourselves down, and then if you're a child, you dare not speak amongst adults.
Exactly.
But I think that nowadays, with the onset of social media, it's getting better.
It's
because
getting
you see a lot of children now, like we see a lot of videos.
Worse. It's getting worse.
I don't think worse. I think better in that I'm looking at just the African society, right? You have a lot of people, a lot of African parents putting out videos of their children who are very expressive, who can say they want this or they don't want that, who can actually hold conversations with their parents. So that's why I will say it's getting better. Not the extreme part where they are being verbally abusive to adults and all of that, not that bit, the expressive bit.
Well, I mean, I think it's okay.
I think the problem probably is a lack of proper guidance for such expressive little kids, because you have a culture like a Japanese culture which is equally as strict and does not play with their traditions and their do's and don'ts and all that. And no matter how smart of a kid you are, you adhere to the culture and the tradition.
Yeah.
But in that society, it's guided, where if they realize Kojo has a gift or Jay has a gift or blah, 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 there's a system for the expression of that gift. So he knows that maybe in the presence of adults, this is how I conduct myself. But it's not an indictment on my talent, because there's a place for me to express it. What we also lack in Africa is the space to express it, period.
Yeah.
Yep.
You understand? So you are being slammed at home to conform to tradition, and this thing is stuck in your throat, but there's nowhere for you to go and
SS3
voice
is
it
what we're
out.
going to express it.
Yeah.
SS3. When you see
Even in SS3,
Then you-
even that,
then
may not
you-
be able to express.
That's how come people took guns to school. I thought you probably use as an example. Yes. I thought you're the one who was fighting hard on that. You heard of the kid who took the gun to the
Yeah,
school.
it's
And,
TikTok challenge. What's going on?
No,
Eh,
no.
eh.
I'm just
Exactly.
refuting what he said.
Yeah, because it is,
How?
it is when, so example
How is lack of
a typical
expression the reason
example.
a child will take a
Is it
gun?
the
to
I
person-
mean, they are beating down.
No, I'm just
they're
saying-
beating down
I'm
into
just saying that-
submission, right? You're beating into
So that's why you take a gun.
When,
to
no, I'm
There-
saying
there
that,
are lots
listen
of
to me, but I said
emotions.
it. Listen to me, I'm just saying that when he got a chance to be free,
You are a lot. I know.
when he got a chance to be free, and that's why I use SS3 as an example, because it's at that moment where you are at a point where parents don't have that much supervision over you.
Really?
I mean, boarding house. Whose mom is dad is going to live with me in the
No,
boarding
you can
house?
tell, because even
And then
when it
second-
comes to skills, professional career, or life choices, a lot of people go totally off tangent what they've been doing till maybe their late 20s.
Yes.
Because they are waiting for that independence to really do what they
express
want to do.
themselves.
Yeah.
So you ask them, what did you do in SS? So I did bio, something. What did you do in university? I did blah, 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 blah. But what do you do now? So run arrest nails.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted to do my whole life.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't use me as an example.
When she was living alone, she would leave her house at 1 a.m. Nobody knows. High five.
I'll leave my house at 1 a.m. to where?
We have before us a lovely book here. It says Rubies for Hair by Ofeibea Quansah, which we'll be talking about this book now. Tell me what's in this?
It's a set of guiding principles, basically for women, but men can relate, of course.
Okay.
I didn't leave you guys out, but yeah, as a woman, I thought the first book to come out would be for my own.
Okay.
Because I've seen a lot of ladies struggle with self-love and self-worth. And they all...
Wow, let's break it down.
Yes. So, myself included,
Okay.
over time, I've come to understand that we always try to fit in, like we said earlier, and we don't see ourselves beyond what the society expects of us. Hence, we just go wherever the wind blows.
I like what you just said. Again, that you don't fit in and you live your life. Sorry, I didn't remember the exact words you
Yeah,
used.
we just live according to what society expects of us.
Yes, so motherhood, restraint to certain kinds of jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. Don't we don't try.
At all.
We don't try.
At all. So this book encourages women to first love themselves, be self-aware, heal from wounds, especially parental wounds, because like it or not, wherever you come from has an impact on you, especially parents. How they talk to you, how they treated you. It forms your mentality about a lot of things, including love and marriage, especially love and marriage. So I encourage ladies to go through the healing journey, which is important, and how to come to a place where your heart is untainted, because you want to get to that place where your heart feels less burdened of any pain, so you can see life through a beautiful lens. You don't end up projecting your pain and hurt on people. And also encourage ladies to walk in purpose. Very, very important to me, because I realized that when you come to a point of knowing who you are or what you're called for, it informs the decisions you make, the choice of friends you even decide to welcome into your space, the tables on which it sits, and the conversations you have, it all comes together.
I think we should also talk about women supporting women and how
It's
women
there.
it has to be in there.
Yeah, it has
to
to
be
be.
page one
It
because
is.
men are very concerned about that.
Healing
that
the competition mindsets. Yeah,
The pseudo support.
Yeah, the
Yes.
chapter title is "She's Not Your Competition" for that.
Okay.
I'm wondering how that thing would be, ever be resolved. Having women support women. Usually among among females, it's always not always. In some cases, it is looking at you with you could have done it better. I know it better, and then that thing always just
Yeah.
brings about all kinds of problems.
So the psychology behind the competition mindset is when you don't know who you are. I always say this: if I know I'm called for A, I know that Lenny is called for B. I cannot do it as Lenny does it. I will put in efforts in doing it how I can do it. And whether you like it or not, at the market, everybody will find their buyer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the way you speak. Someone will be drawn to that, and that makes you unique. And we have to come to a place where we understand that individuality makes it beautiful. We can't be the same.
We've never thought about this though, but do you think men or males or boys are the reason for this thing amongst women?
Yeah. To some extent.
Why?
Because I was going to say not
Not entirely.
Oh, I mean, in every situation, it's not entirely.
Yes, not entirely. To some extent. So I address that in the book where we pit against each other. Who can get the man? Who wears it better? Who presents herself well? But yes, you need to know that your worth is far above whatever a man thinks of you or the competition that is being created to get a man before she does or something.
Rubies for hair. Why the title?
So since it's a set of nuggets, Rubies is like a beautiful gem that is healing. It has healing properties. So I chose that word, just more like a gift, a set of gems.
How long did it take you to work on this book?
A year?
Wow.
A year.
Yes.
You did mention that you like to talk to people, to get into people's heads and all of that.
Yeah.
What was that trigger for you? Beyond getting into people's heads and getting the weird conversations and actually having those weird conversations and knowing how people think. What was the trigger for you to start penning this book?
I think it started with myself. It started as a reminder to myself every time I made a certain mistake or every time I struggled to do the right thing when it came to a certain situation. And I later realized I could have done it better. I just wrote those little love notes to me, reminding me that in case you are in a situation like this is the best way to go about it.
Okay.
Remember to love yourself, remember to find your purpose, remember that the lady next to you is not your competition. You can actually collaborate and make magic. And at a point, it was working on me personally in a way that really got me soft, because I'm like, okay, this is the reality. If I'm experiencing it, I'm pretty sure every other woman is going through a similar thing.
Right.
So every woman can pick something from this book. Why don't I just share it with the world?
Okay. Now, also
Okay, right.
in sharing with the world as well, I want to find out, have you had any instances where you think that even if you write it down, is not going to help? Because there are some things that you go through. There's a thing that Jay says here that regardless of how many motivational stuff when you are going through the thing at that point, sometimes you forget all the motivation.
Motivation is the most
That's
difficult
true.
thing to use when you
When you are going
really
through
into
the
it.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
very true. So
You are hungry and they say, believe in yourself.
that's very true. And I did experience it a few times. It wasn't helping. But I've learned to take pauses in situations and just allow myself feel the moment. We try to jump the feeling moment.
that.
And then we want the quick solution. Feeling is important.
Going through
Go through it.
Never
Go through it.
neglect
Never
your
neglect your
emotions.
emotions.
it. Right. Yeah.
Because you come back and feel it again because you didn't give it the attention it needed. So you take the pause, feel it, allow it to mold you the way it's supposed to. Because I've come to a point where I understand everything you go through has a way of changing you for the better if you look at it with a positive mindset. Yeah.
Okay.
A loss or a lesson.
I just went to page 161 and just of keen interest, the deep impact. It says toxic behaviors don't just hurt feelings. Please buy the book. We'll come to that one. They shift people's sense of self and safety. Over time, they create one, eroded trust. I love that. My eyes are so bad. Self-doubt, I think. Yes. Insecurity in future relationships, emotional isolation, and desensitization to harm. I don't know why I'm just so drawn to this particular short, write-up that I'm picking here. Toxic behaviors don't just hurt feelings; they shape people's sense of self and safety. I wonder what was running through your mind in getting so deep into such places.
Yeah. So, I think I remember that situation clearly. There was a time where it was between myself and a friend.
Okay.
She carelessly used a language that was very hurtful. But this was someone I considered a sister, right? And to think that, okay, it was just a word or maybe in a heated argument. But later on, I started questioning if someone I cared about or knew me and cared about me could say these hurtful words, what about a total stranger, right? So you know how you'd meet people and you can open up. I started closing in because I was scared. I was wondering what the next person would do or say to me that would get me to that point. So it informed my friendship, my ability to open up to friendships. So I realized that when you help people, it's not just the surface level. No, it goes deep, especially with the kind of relationship or how they upheld you. You taint the way they look at situations one way or the other. You create that room for fear. They become either too careful or careless sometimes.
Where is this book? Where is it available? How do we get it? Is it also sold digitally?
So currently, you would have to DM me or call me. We get it delivered to you. But we're working on putting it in bookshops soon, which that information will be put on my socials the moment it's been distributed.
And what are the socials?
Febby Jules on Instagram.
Hey, wait. People, somebody go and spell it with PHEBBIYEEEIE and all of that.
So Febby Jules, FEBYJULES.
FEBY.
FEI.
Oh, so like Ofeibea's Febby. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So let's a Febby.
Yeah, Febby.
Yes. Okay. So Febby Jules. That's JULES.
Yes.
Okay. Across all the social platforms.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I like that. Congratulations on getting this book out published. It's available for people as well. If they DM, like you said, reach on socials and she can deliver to you. But it's going to be in the stores very soon as well. Looking forward to it. I don't know if the afro on the book has got to do with your afro, almost an afro as well. But I love the natural here. It's beautiful.
It's her own hair.
Yeah.
Like, it was really pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
We'll talk to Cyril and see if we can get him there as well. Somehow, some way. We'll get there. Ofeibea, congratulations on this. Looking forward. I'm very sure that people who are also part of the making of this beautiful product.
Yes.
Anyone else you want to say thank yous to?
Thank you to Ohineyeri Gutianti for the wonderful forward. She's been amazing. Her support has been out of this world. And my accountability partners, Sasemi, Aram, Esther, they really put me on my toes because she gets to a point where you are tired. You don't want to keep pushing, but having people in your circle who believe in the message and keep you on your toe is very, very important. And Mrs. Hefron Asari, Auntie Sandra, quite a lot of people. I just want to say thank you to everybody that contributed one way or the other to make this a success.
Did you at any point in time feel like letting go, giving up?
Definitely.
Why?
Working in Belfast is difficult, Jay.
Yeah.
It takes a whole lot because there is a second guess. And the one thing I think I dealt with most was the imposter syndrome, where I kept asking myself,
Who are you?
who am I to put a book out there? Would someone want to hear from me? Who knows you, basically? Some would say you're too young because every time you hear someone has written a book, it's either an elderly person who is putting a memoir together. Yes. So I fought with that a lot. But at a point, I'm like, hey, if God gave it to you, you might as well just give it out there.
But now that the book is out, how have you basked in the joys of bringing out this book? You fought through all your holdbacks. You
Yeah.
fought through your not believing in yourself to be able to bring this out. So, how have you enjoyed the gratification?
It's been surreal, but also it places an even more heavy responsibility on me, because then I know I have to live up to everything or almost everything that I've put out there. Yes, and to also help anyone who reaches out in their journey as well. So it places a huge responsibility on me.
And I believe you're already working on something else.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Hey, okay. You're looking forward to
Congratulations.
That's for the
Looking
men, actually.
Yeah. Please, the next
Okay.
book to write Diamonds for Him.
No, she just said for the men.
It's for the
so-
men, actually.
We also want to be, we also want to be in there. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's difficult writing a book, right?
It is.
It is. Yeah.
But when you are inspired, it's a bit, I'm looking for the right word. When you are inspired,
Is it fulfilling?
it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you know that whatever you're putting out there is actually needed by somebody
purpose
else.
to it.
Yeah, purpose to it.
Congratulations, Ofeibea.
Thank you, Jay.